You remember all the accounts that were dissing DC's decision to cast Robert Pattinson as Batman, constantly referring to his performances in the Twilight franchise? They seem to have vanished ever since this much anticipated Matt Reeves movie has come out. This is a classic case of social media and film journalism that I detest, where even before watching a movie, you write off an actor who doesn't have the capability to do a role you haven't even seen. Something that publications and media houses did for Heath Ledger as Joker as well. The Batman, ever since its release, has had many polarizing reactions, and I want to address everything in this video, and I urge you to chime in on the same or what you thought about this in the comments below. A project that was initially planned with Ben Affleck in mind with a totally different creative mindset was shelved, and Matt Reeves revived the same but went another direction, aiming to explore the detective side of Batman that many have grown up reading about in the iconic comic book editions like The Long Halloween and Year One. We explore the events that take place at a time where Bruce Wayne has donned the role of the Caped Crusader for 2 years and is still trying to figure out his purpose in the hellhole that is Gotham. He has to put his investigative skills to use as several murders take place of the elite of Gotham, each ghastly move leaving a clue for Batman, only to discover that these gruesome acts are being committed by the Riddler. The journey to catch hold of this scheming psychopath while Batman crosses paths with various characters who have a stake in the same forms the basic storyline of the Batman. So let me get a few sticking points out of the way before I absolutely praise this film, because hell, I had an absolute ball watching this Matt Reeves epic. The movie is 2 hours and 55 minutes long, and there is merit to the argument that it is indulgent with its world building. What I have to say though is that it also is representative of how impatient we have become in demanding to be constantly stimulated, and how any sense of establishing characters and the world they reside in is equated to a film being slow or a drag. I actually fall in the group of people that were invested in the film despite its length. I wouldn't go out of my way to defend the film's pacing, as some people claim that the movie for them felt like it was 45 minutes long, but I knew what I was signing up for, as essentially this film sets the building blocks for what in my eyes will be an epic trilogy of my favorite superhero. So I hear you if that's your criticism of the film, but dude, I was hooked to the development of this world from the word go. What I can attest to regarding the criticism of the film is that I wasn't a fan of certain choices that were made with characters. I genuinely thought that there wasn't enough of Alfred in the film. Andy Serkis lends a great performance in this film, and they have integrated an interesting relationship between him and Batman in this universe, which is still in a conflicting stage, quite contrary to the father-son dynamic between Bale and Michael Caine in the Nolan franchise. My actual criticism regarding the character is only that I wish he featured more in the film. I can't really explore in depth regarding Paul Dano's performance in the film without giving things away about the movie, but I just had one thing in mind. See, Paul Dano is an exceptional actor. You look at his twisted performance in Prisoners and it will bring chills down your spine. But when you look at Tom Hardy's Bane, he required a husky voice for essentially the mask that he's wearing that keeps the pain below the threshold for him to function. But I found Dano's similar tone of voice for the Riddler as a rather odd choice. When he is masked and essentially giving out creepy messages and warnings to Gotham City, it's performed brilliantly, but for me, it didn't really suit the character as we know the Riddler all these years. I thought that his dialogue delivery without the mask, that has an erratic tone that oscillates and abruptly transitions to mere shouting as if he is in grave pain, was even more terrifying. Had they used his voice that essentially comes in the last 45 minutes of the movie from the onset, then I believe it would have been really a home run. Now that I've got the slight criticism out of the way, let's get to why I think this is one of the best Batmans I've seen and why I definitely think you should watch it in theaters. For years, we have seen the portrayal of Gotham City in Batman movies, and more or less the idea that we get about it is that it is marred with corruption and crime. But never really has a movie truly captured the lack of morality and semblance that exists in Gotham, making it a city that has no soul and is hollow from within. If you think the depiction of Gotham City was brutal in the Joker, the Batman takes it up a notch and completely takes away even the slight notion of brightness or merry from it. Most of the film has been shot after sunset, and it's representative of the quality of the city. Dark and full of vices. Even when a sequence is showcased in the day where Bruce is attending a memorial service, we have an overcast, clearly denoting the mood that will be prevalent throughout its running minutes. The city in itself is in need of help and rescuing, and I think Matt Reeves, through the cinematography of Greg Fraser, communicates that really well. I remember watching the teaser of The Batman and getting goosebumps the moment Nirvana's Something in the Way played in the background. It's such a brilliant choice as the soundtrack of the film, and if you listen to the song carefully in the movie, you will notice a snippet of the iconic 1989 Danny Elfman theme that all Batman fans associate with. A beautiful integration channelizing the dark essence of the film so well. I think Michael Giacchino has truly captured the tragedy that is the birth of Batman through his score. A man that is created out of darkness and is compelled to provide the hope to the people that there will be light to keep them from the dark. Where I think the music of the film really soars is the integration of the classic Ave Maria, a theme that is often placed in the screenplay of movies as an impending doom is about to take place. Watch the film carefully and see the moments in which this classic is placed. It categorically does a chilling foreshadowing of what is about to happen. I am still getting chills just thinking about it. I thought the action sequences of this film were exceptional and stayed true to the character of the Batman, who has only actively donned the suit since 2 years. It actually looked like a gritty boy who is learning the ropes of combat rather than the skilled and adept fighter we always knew him as in other films. The dark hall sequences just lit up through the gunshots, or the exceptional car chase sequence that made the entire theater in which I was in erupt with hooting and cheering. This one is really special. What I also love about the film is that it stays true to the principle that Batman doesn't kill and methodically choreographs the action sequences keeping that principle in mind. I think Colin Farrell as the Penguin absolutely hit it out of the park in this movie. The reference that most film fans have of Penguin is the iconic Danny DeVito performance, and while the Tim Burton portrayal is something that is campy in its pitch, I think Colin Farrell, while being absolutely unrecognizable, channelized the same energy without coming across as if he doesn't fit in this new world. His comic timing and moments, especially when he is confronted by Gordon and Batman, account for some of the most hilarious scenes in the movie. My only criticism of the Nolan franchise was that I did not buy into the association of Batman and Catwoman in that film, whereas I was absolutely invested in their dynamic in this movie. Zoe Kravitz is absolutely brilliant in this movie, and while people may still have Michelle Pfeiffer as their GOAT regarding the same, I think Kravitz really assimilated brilliantly in this world. I stand by the fact that Pattinson is absolutely perfect for the time period of the Batman that this film aims to portray. Many people have criticized the portrayal of the Batman by Robert Pattinson as one tone, but I have to defend the same. Many people consider this brooding emo boy as an underwhelming performance because most Batman fans, especially of the Nolan franchise, have an idea of what Bruce Wayne and Batman represent. According to them, Bruce Wayne should be this flamboyant, confident man, almost a Casanova of sorts, and Batman being this brooding Caped Crusader. But I think Pattinson is intentionally the same brooding Wayne and Batman in this film because it is representative of the conflicting stage that he is in. He is still figuring out his true purpose in Gotham. It's been 2 years since he has donned the suit, and he is still conscious of public appearances. He fully has not grasped the role of his parents and what they meant to this city. He is still constantly butting heads with Alfred, reminding him that he is not his father. This is a fairly young Bruce, who is still taking time in understanding the optics of playing the flamboyant, confident man in public and then switching as and when Gotham requires. It is basically the building blocks that will be required for the next 2 films as the character arc becomes complete. Pattinson has really got this down to the T, and I think people critical of his performance are discrediting how on point his performance has been when you look at the big picture of how the franchise will shape up. I'm ready to defend this film from all the hate and slander, and I'm going again to watch it in theaters. Trust me, it is worth the 3 hours. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about the movie. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.